I've been asked what might be a priority for stakeholder managers in 2023. And I've resolved that it should be to shield your stakeholders from surprises. And I guess I'm inspired by watching the new president for America scare us all with his unpredictability. Now, there are people who say that unpredictability can be a force for good, that he can solve problems and stop wars. And I think that's a load of nonsense. If you think of European governments right now as stakeholders for America, I can assure you that what they want more than anything is predictability and stability. And it'll go for your stakeholders as well. Serious organizations of all kinds need to plan ahead. How can they plan if they have no idea from one day to another, from week to another, what's going to happen? If you look at our local political landscape, how did Rachel Reeves get into such trouble at the beginning of her chancellorship? It was that announcement on withdrawing winter fuel allowance. And it's not that it's necessarily the wrong thing to do or a bad policy. It was the sheer unpredictability. Nobody saw it coming. It was out of the blue. Nothing in the Labour manifesto, no politicians in the election campaign suggesting might have to have a look. It just came there. And what that does to stakeholders, and the many stakeholders in that particular issue, it undermines their confidence in the relationship they had or they thought they had with the prime actor. So in talking about surprises, I've made 4 points in the article that Tractivity has published today. I make the point that a surprise actually is a subjective, not an objective test. It's not whether you think, well, look at the world outside, couldn't you see that coming? It's what that individual organization, that individual stakeholder organization that is in your stakeholder base, it's what they thought. If it was a surprise, it's a surprise. It's a subjective test. Secondly, it follows from that you need to spend time thinking about and studying what your stakeholder expectations will be, and they will be different. Some people are more clued up than others. If you're an important body for them, you can expect them to be more clued up than if you just have a peripheral influence upon their work and activities. My third point is you need to become brilliant at impact assessment. How many times have you seen the senior managers in a stakeholder respond to something you're doing by saying, well, yes, that's okay, we understand that, only to find that at the grassroots, their own staff suddenly start saying, hang on a minute, there were unforeseen consequences. We are worse affected than we thought we were. So go into detail on the impacts of what you're doing. My fourth point is that if a surprise is inevitable, acknowledge it. It goes a long way if you say, look, we know you were not expecting this, and we appreciate that it may cause you inconvenience, may cause you problems. I think that's a good signal because basically you're safeguarding your relationship by accepting a responsibility for any problems that you're causing. Now, at the end of the article, I do acknowledge that there are times when surprises can be good news. But be careful. Communications experts will tell us it's very easy to make a mess of good news. We've all seen the press releases that are full of self-congratulatory, over-the-top narratives. And surprises, even if they are good, can sometimes go wrong. So, to summarize, we need to shield our stakeholders from the kind of surprises that will damage your relationship with those stakeholders. And that's my message at the start of a year when I suspect Donald Trump won't necessarily observe it, and he'll continue to be as unpredictable as ever.